how is it you go back and forth from directing to acting and being on screen? How do you build those barriers and how do you drop them when you switch and vice versa?
Honestly, I don't worry about it. They're very connected. I don't worry about dividing them. I think that being an actor helps me as a director, and being a director helps me as an actor. So I don't worry about that. I let them kind of help each other.
I will say this cast did sing your praises. They all talked about what a great director you are and how much they enjoyed it.
That is so kind. I know. Come on, guys. That's amazing.
And we
Thank
can't
you.
wait for the sequel.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You've been playing this character for so long. 6
I know, right?
whole seasons. What is it like to shed and say goodbye?
It's, I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to tell a whole story like this, It's been bittersweet to find myself so much in Moira, to learn so many things from her. Saying goodbye has been hard.
Yeah. And I mean, I watched up till episode 8, so I don't know if I've seen more than you this season.
No, yeah, you have. I haven't seen anything. Literally not one episode. I'm going to see it tonight.
But I mean, I see you and June, again, be so empowering and see your friendship, the ups and downs, because you do still have ups and downs this season. What was it like the last scene filming with Elisabeth and the emotions ran high and
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean the Lizzie directed the last episode, so I just it's so many things at once. Being able to see my friend who I've witnessed her growth and see her in that position of power, that director also directing me, who she knows me so much as an actor now, the level of trust, that's what I really will remember from that day.
Yeah, I would imagine that's such an intimate process too.
Absolutely. I think that the relationship between Moira and June on screen is definitely influenced by our own relationship in real life. Yeah.
Oh, I love that for you guys. Why does that make me all warm and fuzzy? Oh, damn. Last question. What was the hardest scene to film this season? The most taxing, the hardest one.
There's an argument that June and I have in one of the episodes. I think it's in episode 6 maybe, and it was that one.
So I have watched this season, so I know who your character is. I know all of the things that your character has done. I know you can't say much, but it's such a heavy role. How was it behind the scenes? Once the camera stopped rolling, how did you snap out a character, and did you have good chemistry with certain people? Were you guys laughing? What was it like?
Not kidding. This is one of the funniest casts I've ever been around.
Which you would think is kind of
no, you would you would think that would be obviously the subject matter is incredibly heavy, but truly the bits were out of control. Incredibly funny cast. Bradley Whitford can tell 20-minute stories where I can't even tell you how good the stories are. No, but yeah, you would think with heavy subject matter it would be a kind of dour experience, but no, everybody kept it light, and maybe that's self-protection, but it really made for a good hang.
Was there one jokester on set who did something particular that you can remember, or some big prank?
No, I've never been a big prank guy. And I never really got the sense. I feel like everybody's I don't know, pranks is for 19-year-old TikTokers. I don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean? No, everybody's all too grown up to do pranks. They were just hanging out, eating snacks and telling stories. Bradley Whitford's met and worked with everybody, so it'd be when I was 19, Orson Welles punched me in the face, and you'd be like, wow, okay. Yeah, it was that kind of.
Happen?
I don't know, but frankly, ask him. It may have.
Yeah. And then, okay, so when you joined the cast, I'm sure you were so pumped because it's it's a huge show. Are you kind of apprehensive on how people are going to take your character? Because some people are when you're walking down the street, they might scream at you or something. Have you thought of that at all, with your character?
No, truly never.
No.
Not even sort of. And I would almost say broadly, never consider it. Only in that, I don't know. Yeah, you kind of never think about it. It's just show up and try to do the best job you can. And if you find a human connection to it, then people are gonna maybe even be weirdly compelled by it. That's always the hope. And then if people can't separate you from somebody they saw in 2 dimensions in their own home, it's I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And then what was the hardest scene to film, and if you can even share that? I mean, I know.
Oh yeah, though there would be I think the one thing I would say is that we was saying earlier we had to dance at one point, and I've never been like
2 left feet, maybe.
Never been the most graceful person.
Well, also it's like not like get down and boogie. It's like ballroom dance.
Yeah.
Did you have to take dance lessons for that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
How long did you do lessons for?
Oh, like the day before.
Oh, okay.
But it was like enough that we were like, okay, I should, you know what, it was enough that I should have been better when we were actually doing it.
Was it like a full-on choreographed thing?
Not full on, it was more like basics that we could expand on.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you, your boy fucked those up. Your boy didn't get the expansion. Your boy didn't even get the basics.
I'm sure you're not the only one.
Yeah. I might just be the most noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know you didn't take anything from set, but if you could rewind time and take one thing from the set about your character, like that's about your character, what would you take if you could rewind time?
Those little lapel pins, those are always the things you grab. Small enough that they won't notice, but has a big meaning. You know what I mean?
Okay, one last thing too, and I know, okay, so the very, very last scene, and you know what I'm referring to, how many takes was that, and like how long did you have to film that, and were you like, oh my god, what the hell, when you read it? Or did you know when you took the job?
I knew when I took the job, and I can't say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, all day?
A fair amount of time.
Yeah.
Fair amount. Yeah.
Oh, and I have so many questions to ask you, but I know you're so limited on what you can say. But like, I want to know so much shit. You know what I mean? Like, what was the worst thing that you filmed? Like, in your mind, like that your character did out of all the bad things?
Oh, just filming overnight. Shooting overnights is awful.
How many of this?
A lot of overnights.
Oh, no.
And it's cold in Toronto. It's no fun.
So congratulations on such like a successful series. It's your first big series. Yeah. Can you tell us what you've learned over the years from your character and what you're going to take on from this role into your future?
From my character, I've definitely learned her resilience, because no matter what happens, she never gave up. She was never too scared to face what was going on, especially because being brought at like 6-7 years old into a place like Gilead, she still fought to stay sane and stay in her place and remember her mother. And I think her resilience is something I'm going to take. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I heard that you said that one of your most taxing scenes that you ever filmed for the series was when you got taken away from your mother in the first season. Do you remember like how long it took to like how many shots it took and how many hours?
It definitely was a couple takes. So long ago. It was like more than half my life. Ooh. I think it took around an hour. Like, it was definitely over and over and over and over and over and over to make sure it was perfect.
And since you were young on set, how did your day-to-day, how did they treat you, the rest of the cast? And who was probably the one that you learned the most from or that took you under their wing the most?
So I learned a lot from the cast, and the cast was so nice, from directors to producers. Everybody was welcoming, especially since I was a child. Like, it was such a welcoming experience. And Lizzie actually took me under her wing. She was so great to me. She would buy me hot chocolate like every day. I was always having sugar rushes, and she taught me a lot that I know.
Is it crazy that like you're so close with an A-lister like Elisabeth Moss that you call her Lizzie? Is that crazy to you?
Well, yes. Thinking about it, it is pretty crazy. But I've known her since I was 6, so it's like she's like a second mom to me.
And then, like, because you've basically grown up with her, does your real life family, do you guys ever incorporate anything with the cast? Do you guys do dinners with your real life family and your TV family or anything?
Not recently, but in the earlier seasons, yes. Because of COVID and everything, yeah.
And then, I mean, I've watched most of this season. I was lucky enough to get the trailers. So I know that she's on the quest. She's never going to give up trying to find you. And, I mean, what do you think that means to the character, I guess? And, like, I don't know, because I'm dying to know if she finds you, and I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, so I'm really, really dying. But how, can you just tell me, like, what it was like filming this last season? All the emotions that you went through, like the very last scene that you're in this season, how was it to say goodbye to everybody?
So when I said goodbye to everybody, like, it was bittersweet, but I knew we'd all reunite here. But it's a great experience, even though it's sad. Like,
Were there tears?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you cling to anybody particular a little longer?
Well, last time, yeah, Lizzie. Like I said, she's second mom. So the last time I saw her before I got here, we were hugging.
What, out of your character, what was the hardest scene for you to film this season?
I wasn't actually in this season. We were in the first season and seasons 3 and 4. I'd say the hardest scene from that, well, as giving away a spoiler alert a little bit, but maybe was the death scene when he got pushed off the building and it was raining. Yeah, you're going back. You're like, now I know Martin. It's been a while. I'm happy I get to hang out, you know. I'm proud of them for season 6, here to just celebrate everybody else. But that was probably the hardest just because I was sad to say bye, and it was raining and we had to do a little stunt. But yeah, I think overall all the scenes were wonderful to be a part of.
Well, going back to that death scene with the rain, I mean, it's kind of dangerous shooting in the rain like that and doing
fake rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, like, slip-ups happened or anything?
No, we were like surrounded by basically pillows. You know, it was like everywhere we looked was some sort of comfy something to land in. And then Elisabeth Moss, Lizzie directed that episode, and she made sure we were super comfortable. She's an amazing director. So
Well, she's continued directing. She even directs a few of these episodes, I think 9 and 10, I want to say.
Wonderful director.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about what it's like working with her on screen and off?
Yes, I mean, as a director, I mean, she's amazing when she's an actor. She's really knows how to turn it on and off. You know, she performs like incredibly, and then she can also just joke around between the takes. And then when she was a director, she was just such a kind, focused, talented director. She's a very focused and talented human being.
And then what about just like as a friend in general? What's she like?
Yeah, she's super cool. Yeah, she's a hard worker. She's super nice, and she has a good sense of humor, and yeah, she's awesome.
And then, okay, you play Octomom.
Yeah.
And I mean, we cover Octomom all the time. Dying to know, like, did you read up on her? How did you prepare for the role in general?
Well, I had basically a week to prepare. Yeah, so it wasn't a lot of time. I basically watched any moment I could, any interview I'd ever seen. I mean, I scoured the web, but that was only a small kind of picture of who she is, right? It was really just seeing her in the media during a very wildly intense time in her life. So other than watching everything I absolutely could, at home, my partner and my child were probably just like, we hear Natalie's voice more than your own. But I was able to read her unpublished memoir throughout the shooting process, and the writer was informed a lot by her, so I kind of got to speak through the writer to prepare, and then finally got to talk to Natalie afterwards, which was great, yeah.
Oh, you didn't get to talk to her until after.
I really wanted to. I pushed to meet her, but I think she's a busy life, you know, she's a lot going on, so it wasn't possible.
What would you say is, from your take, the biggest misconception that just the general public has of her?
I think a lot of people think that she's not a good mom or that she wanted the attention. I think she's a really great mom, and I don't think she actually was doing anything to get attention. Yeah.
And then what was the hardest thing about playing her?
The shooting schedule, truly. Like, we shot in 16 days. You know, we were doing 16-hour days. I didn't have a lot of time to prep. So I think, and just trying to make sure I could authentically represent the her that's behind the scenes, because I never got a picture of that. Yeah.
And then, I mean, how's the ending product? Because I have yet to see it, but what is it?
I feel good about it. Yeah, I'm proud of it. I mean, it's hard. Whenever you watch your work, you kind of have a critical eye. But I think our director, Brian Nord-Stewart, did an incredible job, and our producer, Stacey Mandelberg, everybody was like incredible. I think everyone did an incredible job. I feel proud of it. Yeah.
And did she give you any feedback at all?
She did, yeah. When we finally talked on the phone, and she seemed really happy with it, which was so meaningful. And she thanked me. She said, you know, I felt really represented, and I think she got to like honestly kind of share her experience through the film, and I think that's vindicating for her. Yeah.
And it must be vindicating for you too in your work. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. I just want to tell the truth for people, you know. Like, you know, as an actor, you're not here to judge. You're here to just be a vessel for the story, and I think we did that. Yeah.